your continued views on the importance of behavioral science, but also maybe some of the complexities in the same way we face challenges with big data. And it's, we all were like, big data, but what do you do with it?
Yes.
And so what's that arc, what's that evolution of innovation, look like to you?
Yeah, I firmly believe that behavioral finance is the new frontier for the whole world of money. Right. And that we have just begun our journey to understand, kind of the implications of behavioral finance and sort of understanding human behaviors in the world of money. And as we've talked in the past, I think the odd thing to me is that the understanding of how behaviors impact micro and macro markets has been there for quite some time, but it's been sort of like accounted for in volatility, right? Like it's either like for a brand and the value of a company, it was accounted for in what we would call goodwill. All along, we kind of knew that the how consumers behave, perceives, make decisions have a fundamental impact on the world of money. But we were just never really rigorous in our framing of that and our understanding of that in how we could collect data on that and then use it to design strategies, right? Essentially for products, for the markets, for things like that. And I really do think it is just beginnings. As we sort of mature on this path, which is a joint path to me that really, obviously academics, practitioners within the industry, economists and governments will all be around. It will really transform. It'll end up transforming the way that money works, right? Like how people perceive money works. It'll impact pricing. It'll impact, the structure of products. But I do think sort of if I separate kind of the behavioral data versus kind of the raw transactional data, I actually think we've kind of tapped out on the big data aspect of just pure transaction, kind of like, supply, demand, pricing, right? There's always more to know, but like the pure kind of old school economics stuff, we're swimming in that data and we have pretty good understanding of how that moves things up or down or influences, decisions. But the psychological side of it, right? The human side of it, which is a huge, huge part of the equation. It's not purely rational. As we all kind of thought, the world doesn't work purely rationally, the way that the kind of the old school models, economic models had assumed. And so as we get deeper understanding of that, I do think that is absolutely the future. So just, kind of to take it back to the project we worked on, if you think about FICO as essentially the old school economic way of thinking about big data, and from a purely transactional, kind of what can I see about what consumers do, kind of standpoint, and behavioral finance as what do consumers believe? What do they intend? What's motivating them to make choices that may be logical or illogical, kind of depending upon how you frame it. Like that is really the where I think all innovation come from going forward.